I find it quite interesting that on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, everybody seems to be warning people, mainly women, and warning people about their children being out at nighttime and being abducted, and sex traffickers and vans, and look out for this, and news articles. This week alone, I read about 3 cases where black people, it was a group of black people that was caught sex trafficking. Now, I'm going to put a link on the bottom. I want you guys to check it out and tell me what you think. But what I find quite interesting the most is that black people that support sex trafficking have no right to complain about the white man and what happened during slavery. Because now you've become the slave catchers, sex trafficking. In Atlanta, there were like, what was 6 of them? And I think there was 1 white dude that was arrested for sex trafficking. All black people. So now you're doing what your captors did to you. And you're probably more than likely doing it to your own people. Now, there was a video that was circulating around YouTube or Facebook, and I only saw it because someone showed it to me. And it was when this child was snatched from the mother. The mother walking down the street with a child. Now, why the child is on the outside, because usually when I walk down the street, if I walk down the street, and say if a woman's with me, or if I got my granddaughter with me, they walk on the inside of me. And I mentioned that in the video because traditionally, women are supposed to walk on the inside, because if they walk on the outside, that's saying that they are for sale. Okay? That's what pimps used to do back in the day. That was one way of knowing that, because she would have the short dresses on, the mini skirts and the legs and the clear heels and all that. So it let people know that that was his woman, and he's selling her, right? So you're supposed to walk on the inside, but the vehicle drove up, snatched the child. It was a black dude that took this little white girl. And I think the little white girl was like, 8 years old? I think she was 8. And the police bum rushed the apartment. They found out where he was. They broke in the apartment. When they got inside there, the little girl was sitting there watching TV, but on the bed, you can see patches of blood. They didn't mention the article did say that the girl's innocence was taken, but that blood could be an indication that he raped her. A little 8-year-old girl, right? So America was warned, and America ignored the warning because of your hatred for Donald Trump, especially the demon crabs. Y'all hate Donald Trump so much you risk the safety of Americans. You risk the safety of your own children, your own grandchildren. You risk the safety. And I almost guarantee you, the places where you find the most sex trafficking occurring and children come up missing is in sanctuary cities. Places where there's sanctuary cities. And I told you guys, before I deleted my Fearless 2005 channel, I told you guys, I said, look, you don't know what's coming over the border. And a lot of these slave traffickers or these sex traffickers, they come over with children. The government have to vet them, because who's to say that they're lying? They're bringing kids over, man, saying that these are my kids, and they're not the kids. They've snatched them from someplace. And they bring them to America, and now you got all these pedophiles. I mean, look at Epstein, the situation with Epstein, and he ended up dead. Why do you think that man ended up dead? It goes beyond the fact that people felt that he was about to spill the beans and expose people. That might have been the case, but I think that when they got Epstein and a lot of stuff started opening up, that not only would have exposed people, but that would have also exposed the business that's going on here in America. the sex trafficking business that a lot of elites are fully aware of and take advantage of. The rich people take advantage of that. As a matter of fact, what was that black producer name? How can I forget it? The gay dude, man. He was on Wendy Williams' show. And Wendy had questioned him about his skin. If some of y'all remember the name, tell me who it is. It's not Tyler Perry. What's the other dude name? What's that dude name? Well, anyway, if I think of it, well, some of y'all are going to mention anyway. But they had questioned him about, she questioned him about his skin. And he said baby blood. He said, what was it? He said baby blood and something else he said. And then he said he was joking. But when he said he was joking, you could see like a little beam in his eye, man. It's like you could see a spirit was in his eye. You can just see it. It manifests itself. Just for a brief moment, you can see it. I'm going to find that video, and I'm going to put it on the bottom. And just watch when he say that, and then he lean forward and laugh. You can just see that spirit. Just for a brief moment, you can see it. You got to have discernment to see that, man. It happened so fast. But he said that he put baby blood on his face, right? And then he said he was joking. He was not joking. He was not joking, because people that's rich and powerful, they have the money to do it. There's no telling what they're doing in the dark. It goes beyond sex trafficking. Sex trafficking is just the face of it. And that's why the demon craps and the demon craps are so wicked. That's why the demon craps are for open borders. When you see all of these people are in favor of open borders, that's like taking all the doors off your house, opening all the windows in your house, and just let anybody that want to come in, come in. You don't know them from Adam. So now they're allowing foreigners to come over the border and their children for sex trafficking. And then they develop sanctuary cities to protect them. Those sanctuary cities are to protect the sex traffickers. They're protecting their product. That's their commodity. That's the whole thing behind the sanctuary cities. And if you look at every demon crap state, every state that's in favor or supports the sanctuary city, you will see or hear about some child or children being abducted for sex trafficking, or arrests made for sex trafficking. And it's become the norm here in America. And you got to watch out for your kids, man, I'm telling you. And all of these so-called pro-blacks, you cannot trust black people, because you have a lot of black people that crossed over. They crossed over and they've taken the position, the same position the slave master have. A lot of so-called black people have taken that position and that stand. They become captors. Just like what happened in the continent when a lot of Africans helped to capture the African slaves, right? The ones that were taken in captivity. It was Africans that sold their people into captivity. The white man was just buying a product. And once he bought that product, he do what he want with it. And you see what he did with it. But now that spirit, those people that have ancestors that were taken into captivity, that DNA is strong, it's powerful, because now they've taken the same stance as their ancestors that sold their ancestors into captivity. Black people are doing that. They caught, and I'm going to put that article on the bottom. There's going to be a couple of articles down there. But one with Wendy Williams, and what's that? I forgot that guy's name, man. The gay dude, man. And he's got a gay lover, but he said he put baby blood on his face to keep his skin looking like it does, because Wendy had questioned him on that. But then there's an article where it was black people, about 8 of them, I think it was, arrested in Atlanta. And you can even Google that. Arrested in Atlanta for sex trafficking, black people. And there was one white dude in the mix. So you can't trust black people. It could be your neighbor. It can be your coworker. It can be your so-called bestie, your best friend. It can be your mom or your dad, your uncle. See? So it's real. And when you see so many people in favor of open borders, that means anything can come over that border. not just drugs, but you have children now and women and even dudes that's being sold into captivity. Sex slaves. The military's involved. You have military officials involved. You have police involved. And just this week or last week, some dude was arrested pretending to be a cop and trying to make a female have sex with him. And then there was a cop that was arrested for trying to force women into sex. Right? And see, y'all, and that's why they're in favor of open borders and gun control. Because once they take your defense away from you, the only means, that may be your only way to defend yourself. But because by the time the police come there, anything can happen. And there's a brother on, it's a cop, it's a sheriff in Chicago. And he was on Facebook, man, and he was warning people. And he was saying that it can happen so fast, and once they snatch you up or snatch your kid up, there's nothing that law enforcement or the government can do. He said that. There's nothing they can do. They have no idea where you are. By the time they get the information, it's too late now. You could be anywhere, right? And for y'all that watch porn, when you watch a lot of these porn videos, how do you think a lot of these porn videos are being made? Sex trafficking. See? So, and you support that when you watch that. And you spend your money on that, right? So it's heavy, man. It's heavy in this country, man. And I mentioned in prior videos, I said that if black Americans aren't careful, you're going back into captivity, right? If you forget where you came from, if you forget your history, you're bound to repeat it. And many of y'all, you read books, but you forgot your history. And I'm ending on this. Joe Biden did a Freudian slip, and we spoke on this in the past, where he says, y'all are going back into slavery. They're going to put y'all back into slavery. Remember Joe Biden said that? Could that have been a Freudian slip? Because he likes to sniff on girls' hairs, right? He likes to sniff on them and feel on them and give them massages, right? He's a part of that circle. And he's in favor of open borders, right? He's in favor of illegal immigrants. The government, especially New York State, is giving them license, illegal immigrants, license to drive these vans, to capture you. And then they supply sanctuary cities to protect them. This is all big business. It's all big business. Now, just in case this video is removed by YouTube, it's going to be on my WordPress page or Daily Motion. And the link is in the description box in the bottom. So feedback, tell me what you think, subscribe, click on the Cash App button and support the channel. Until next time. I'm fearless.